Hey, here we go. Check this out.
This is Whole Nother Level with Dwayne Lindo.
You know, frankly, I feel that we shouldn't even be talking about this. Simple as that.
The great L. Bushman.
They'd have to make so many adjustments, but I don't know what they have to do. They need a miracle. They need her?
Our girl, Kristen Yalway.
Yeah, it's going to be another show. Britney Spears has her show in Vegas. The Raiders are going to have their show in Vegas.
Frank Mazzei.
Did they win the offseason in free agency? Yes. What does that mean? Absolutely nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Craig Cousin.
How can you not put Tom Brady #1 on the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks? Man, this guy's a legend. Rings speak.
And Eric Wilson.
I didn't know Eric was going to let you talk.
Don't hate the player, hate the game. I've seen enough Facebook posts to know that you're not a Giants fan. Let's go.
Pittsburgh.
And welcome, everyone, to a special edition of Whole Nother Level live here in Cowork, Florida. This is our NFL free agency special edition. You got your man, Eric Wilson. I'm joined by the great L. Bushman. We got a special guest with us, our man, Mr. Lee Schlanger. We had to have him come join us today. Lee, welcome to Whole Nother Level, my brother. How are you?
I'm doing well, guys. How's everybody doing?
I mean, I'm in rare form right now, man. All this stuff going on. Not to mention that someone.
Me, I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the great L. Bushman.
Yes.
Got me hyped right now, man.
We're going to have to put money down right now.
Money down right now?
Yeah, we're going to do a bet right
Bruh,
now.
You're crazy. I'm telling you. But anyhow, you know how we do it. Whole Nother Level. We are here at Co-Work. Let's get right to it because everybody is watching, and waiting to see where Tony Romo is going to go. We have got all kinds of feeds going on trying to figure this out. Nothing yet has happened, but let's talk about what's happened so far today. First and foremost, Deshaun Jackson, 3 years, $35 million, coming down here to the 813 to complement Mike Evans and give Jameis Winston that deep ball threat that he's been missing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, you know what, Lee, since you're our guest, I'm going to start with you and say, what do you see happening right now with Tampa and now having one of the top wide receivers in the league in your house?
I think that Tampa just got something they needed desperately.
Okay.
They have not been able to stretch the field for the past 5-6 years that I can remember. You've got a great receiving core there, but they're big guys. They're not the fastest, and deep threat just hasn't been a thing for them. Now,
What's good about this is now, even though they signed Deshaun, you can still go out and draft another wide receiver.
Yes.
You could. Mm-hmm. You could. So, all right, great L. Bushman, this is your team. I mean, you compliment Lee here, and you are the main guy when it comes to all things Tampa. So let me hear from you now. You feel that this move is putting your team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in a position to actually make some noise in the NFC South this year.
Well, you know, the hashtag that's on Twitter right now is Weapons for Winston. And they certainly have done that. You know, this is actually, I applaud this move. You know, Jason Light has made a splash in free agency that's gotten everybody in Tampa applauding because what a good signing. He may be 30 years old, but he's got a lot left in his tank, and this guy is an explosive, deep route back, a wide receiver that can just be, you know, he can catch a 5-yard pass and then stretch it for another 80 yards. Okay? And like I said before, they can go out in the draft and get a John Ross.
Not going to happen.
You never know.
Not going to happen. John Ross is going to go before Tampa even gets the opportunity to sniff the name John Ross.
Scenario-wise, but they can go out and get a young wide receiver in that course. So you never know. But this is now giving them, and it takes a little bit off of Mike Evans too, especially the load that he had to put on last year because their receiving core was just depleted after all the injuries. So now they actually have a guy where Jameis can now spread the ball around, and they have got a guy that can go deep and has the speed to do it, especially in the NFC South. So this is a great move for the team. So far the moves they've made for free agency they've been great.
Even your boy,
yeah,
Chris Conte with his 2-year contract extension.
Except for that, because
Okay, I was
me
gonna say.
and him have
Yeah.
had hard times together.
Yeah, y'all need
Okay,
to
so-
have a hug it out.
There's still a need, especially in the secondary for the Bucks. They do need to address the running back situation. I like the re-signing of Jacquizz Rodgers. That's great. I think bringing him back brings a little bit of depth in the running back position. These are good signings, and free agency just started today, so there's a lot more to go. And then the draft is coming up in next month, so it's a good day in Tampa Bay.
Okay.
And that was from Fox 13 a long time ago.
All right.
Yeah.
Listen, what has me fired up, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that before we got on the show today, the great L. Bushman and myself were having a conversation, and he feels that Tampa is in a much better position right now than my Philadelphia Eagles based on what has happened within free agency. See, this is what got me hyped up because y'all know how it is. And all of our listeners and followers who know, I think
you forgot what division you're in.
Hold on. By the way, please call and chime in because we do want to hear from you. 813-699-5353. We want to hear from y'all about free agency. What has your team done to, boost your spirits or dampen them, so to speak? And, Cleveland, we'll get to them in a moment. But you feel that where you're at right now, based on what has happened today with free agency starting, Tampa is in a much better position than Philadelphia. And you feel like Philly is not going to be able to be as good, if not better, in my opinion, than Tampa is in the 2017-2018 season. So, yeah, let's make this bet right now. Okay. I'm saying to you right now,
all right,
Philly will have a better record or will go further. I won't say better record. Because,
yeah, okay, I'm sure you're going to backtrack on that.
Well, no, here's what I'm saying, because we already know 9-7 in your division will get to the postseason. 9-7 in my division, you're not going anywhere.
Do you want to do $50 now? Or?
Oh, no, we can do straight up 50.
Okay.
What I'm saying to you is Philly will go deeper this season than Tampa will.
I disagree.
That's fine. You allowed
the
to
division
disagree.
you're in right now,
yes.
with the Giants,
Yep.
who they just got.
They got Brandon Marshall.
And with Dallas coming back with pretty much everybody on their team.
Okay.
You're not going to do it.
Okay. It's a bad bet if you're an Eagles fan. It really is.
No, it's not.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you.
It's a bad
Go
bet,
ahead.
And I'll tell you why.
Sure, please.
Think about the
Could you get a little closer to the mic, please?
Think about the defenses in your division.
Okay.
Think about those.
Fair
Now,
enough.
After thinking about the defenses in your division, think about the NFC South defenses.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Nothing good there.
Terrible.
Go ahead and take those versus the Buccaneers offense any day. I'll take that.
What I'm saying to you, gentlemen, is I didn't say regular season. I said go further, which means, and I'll be the first to admit, I realize already at this season, looking at futuristically, that we have to finish 10 wins.
Not going to happen.
To even sniff
Not going to happen.
a wild card spot because of what Dallas did last year. I fully expect them. They will get better as time goes on,
So
okay?
I just want to make sure that I have this bet straight. I
Sure.
want to make sure I understand.
Yes.
So what you're saying is
Yes.
that the Eagles,
Yes.
they will go further into the postseason
Yes.
than the Buccaneers.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm
So-
not saying record. What I'm saying is if
So what he's
if
saying
the-
is they have to be better than the Cowboys. They have to be better than the Giants.
No. We only have to be better than the Bucks, you and I. Because what I'm saying to you is
Well, if
this.
they don't make the playoffs, then you just lost the bet.
If we don't make the playoffs, that's fine. But if you don't make the playoffs, then it doesn't matter. What I'm saying to you is if you make wild card weekend and we make wild card weekend, you win, I lose, you win.
Okay. Now, if we go to the playoffs, you don't even make the playoffs, I win.
Exactly. If I make the playoffs and you don't go to the playoffs, then I win.
Okay. I just want you to remember what
No, I
division
know.
you play in.
I understand,
Okay.
but that's why I'm saying to you. That's why I backtracked on the record because you're absolutely right. See, you can get in with an 8-8, 9-7 record.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, this is a great bet for the Bushman over here.
I know,
It
thank you.
really is.
Thank
No,
you,
it's not.
thank you, thank you.
Because
It is.
even if I'm able to slide in at a wild card spot and he's able to get in, because figure it like this. Tampa needed everything and their grandmother to happen last season for them to even get into the postseason. We knew with a rookie quarterback last year, we weren't going to the postseason. All we wanted was to see what his production was on the field. And you know what? At 7-9, I'm cool with that. I didn't say I'm happy with it. I didn't say I'm good with it. I'm cool with it.
Eric's just,
but
Eric's
now,
just hyped up because Philly just gave Alshon Jeffrey $14 million.
You're damn
for
right I'm
1
happy.
year to rent him out.
And
No.
somebody remind me, what was Tampa Bay's record last year?
9-7.
9-7. So still 2 games better than Philly, even then.
But they didn't get in. They didn't get in. My point is they did not get in, and that's why I said let's see how far each team goes.
Eric, this year I would like, instead of 50 crisp $1 bills,
what would you like?
I want it all in quarters. Because I just want to make it rain like it's like
yeah,
a bunch
that's
of
fine.
snow.
Lee's giving us something here. What just happened?
The Bucks have officially re-signed Jack Rogers for a 2-year deal.
Yeah, 2-year, $3.3 million. Yep, nice.
It's a good move. I like it. It adds depth to the running back position in Tampa. I like it.
All right.
Now,
So
if we lose Doug Martin, I'm not going to cry over it. Because
you're not upset about you.
No,
but
because
see, you haven't been upset about
because
Dougie.
they can release him because of the PEDs or whatever he was on. He had to go to even if he comes back, he's suspended the first 3 games of the season. So if he goes, let him go, and it frees up money anyways.
Right. See, he was happy about losing Dougie.
Yeah, muscle hamster, Doug or not, whatever you want to call him. You know what? He had a great rookie year. He came in and injuries derailed him a little bit. I just don't think he ever got back on track.
Lee, I think you would agree with me on this. Ever since Cadillac, we've had trouble having that featured back, and I think if they go into the draft and they go draft somebody young, and to be that guy, it's going to work. And this running back class is so stacked full of guys you can go out and get. It's ridiculous.
It's deep.
I
it's
agree,
very deep.
but I think there's a pressing need for a better offensive line right now.
I definitely
think
agree
they
with
need
you.
Help at the O-line. I think that's going to probably hold back any good running backs until they address that.
But you have a mobile quarterback, and you guys have both seen in his 2 years what Jameis is capable of doing. So as long as the offensive line doesn't completely just collapse, I think Jameis will be okay.
It's great for the passing game. Doesn't help my running game much.
No,
though.
This is true. This is true. Well, let's talk about Tampa since you're laughing hysterically about this trade here, the Mike Glennon trade to Chicago.
It wasn't even a trade. It was a signing.
It was a signing.
I think it's stupid. I don't know what Chicago's doing.
Chicago needed something. They needed something. So now they got Mike Glennon, one of probably the highest paid backup quarterback.
So you now have Matt Barkley and you have Mike Glennon.
So here's your question: is he still a backup quarterback?
At $14 million? No, he better be a starter over Matt Barkley. I mean, that's what I'm saying, but I mean, I'm sure the two of them are going to fight it out for the job, but you're paying a backup essentially $14 million. Really? That's what you're going to give this guy? And his body of work is minimal. We haven't seen a lot from Mike Glennon to be given this money. You're laughing hysterically about this Great Al Bushman, and I want to say to you, what if? What if it was the right system? What if he gets to Chicago and it fits him?
Okay, who are you going to throw to in Chicago? Jeffries is gone.
Jeffries is gone. You're right.
Who else you got?
Well, they still have the draft.
I mean, you got Kevin White, but Kevin White was underperformed last year. So who you got?
Okay.
So I mean, is Chicago in a position where you're in rebuilding mode? Is that why you brought Mike Glennon in?
I don't know. That is an excellent question.
I mean, you're putting up a lot of money for a guy that's really hasn't played a lot. Maybe played one full season. That's because Tampa Bay didn't really have anybody, and that was under Schiano. So you're giving this guy a lot of money to be on a rebuild team, pretty much.
But you had to get rid of Jay Cutler. They had to do something.
Now, that being said, there's a couple positives to Glennon, too. I mean, he's a big physical guy. He's got an arm. He's shown that he can be accurate. Not the fastest guy in the world, but, it seemed like he made good reads when he was playing. So I think, a younger guy hasn't taken a lot of hits. Maybe there's an upside there.
I will say this. I feel bad for Glennon because he's going into a bad situation. He's going on a bad team.
I disagree with that. I think Cutler made that team bad. Now, here's the thing. I don't know exactly where they are draft-wise, Chicago, but think of it like this. You mentioned John Ross. You get Mike Glennon to get a John Ross as one of his wide receivers. Now you do have somebody to go through because we've seen this guy's speed. So now all you need is a veteran wide receiver on the other end of the field to kind of mold this guy up, pretty much like what Brandon Marshall is going to try to do with OBJ. Yeah, I haven't forgot about your Giants over there, Lee, so we're going to get to them too. But, here is something that you might want to consider. What if Chicago makes that move and gets him? Now is it still a bad team because Mike Glennon's the quarterback?
Well,
I'm asking.
I mean, the Bears draft third. So
Okay. All right.
I mean, they could go get John Ross.
They can go get John Ross.
They could.
So now they've got John Ross. They've got to find someone at the running back position.
Listen, I'm not. It's just, and he's going into a situation. I mean, John Fox is he's a great coach. Okay, maybe Jay Cutler was the poison of that team. But,
He is.
But giving Mike Glennon that much money, you're overpaying for him because of his body of work of what we've seen, especially in Tampa. His body of work is not worth that money.
But I've seen flashes of Mike Glennon, and you have to admit that there have been flashes of where this guy could actually be a starter. Maybe not in Tampa.
He reminds me of a slower Forrest Gump-looking version of Alex Smith.
You know who else had flashes back in the day too? Chris Sims. Chris Sims had flashes in Tampa. And,
Jeff Garcia had flashes in Tampa.
I mean, you've got those guys who will make big plays. And I'm not saying that Mike Glennon's not going to do anything.
Right.
But for him, Tampa fans everywhere right now are thanking the Bears for taking that $12 million
And the Bear fans are thankful because they didn't want Jay Cutler. So guess what? It's a win-win for everybody. All right, who we got next up on the list? Give me somebody.
Let's talk about Torrey Smith going to your Eagles.
Okay, let's talk about Torrey Smith.
I like this.
What's up, Torrey?
I like this.
Welcome to Philadelphia,
okay, so
baby. First cheesesteaks on me.
Not
What's
only
up, Torrey?
We'll talk about him, we'll also talk about Alshon.
Okay.
Two great signings for your team. Because now Carson Wentz is actually have two deep threats for you guys to throw to.
Exactly.
Which is great. Mm-hmm. Now, you were mentioning this at work. You're running back Wendell Smallwood. That's something you guys need to address.
I have Darren Sproles. We still have Ryan Matthews.
Old and underutilized.
And he will be utilized this year. This is his last season. He's going to retire as an Eagle. So you know what? He's going out his way. Oh, we got a caller. Hold on really quick. You're on with Whole Nother Level. Who we talking to?
This is Carl Rafferty. How you doing?
Carl, what's up,
buddy?
Our man from old school, man. Carl, how good to hear from you, brother. What's going on?
Nothing. I want to talk about my Raiders.
Okay. Let's talk about
I want
them.
to talk about, are we doing Adrian Peterson? What's going on? What are we doing there?
I honestly, Carl, I don't know. I think the interest.
It's been hush-hush right now. Where he's had strong interest in them, and then he also said he'd take a pay cut to go to the Patriots. So,
my God.
What is he going to do? I mean, the Raiders already have Latavius Murray.
But Latavius Murray maybe.
We've got three backs.
Right, but Latavius Murray, Carl, Latavius Murray might be on the move, man. I don't know. That young stud may be going somewhere else. So that's why, you know what, if you guys are going to make a serious push for AP, my first thing is you got to make sure that Latavius Murray is definitely going to be a Raider. If he's going to be a Raider, then don't even worry about it. I think you guys will be solid.
Exactly.
But if not, yeah, man, you might want to look at it and see what's going on.
Carl, but do you really want to take a 32-year-old Adrian Peterson that's he's had multiple injuries to his knees? We don't really know if this could be.
I don't, man. I thought we were fine with Murray. I don't understand what's going on. But they know something that we don't. That's why they're moving on this. I don't know.
But are you? Do you think they should? Do you think the Davis family should actually pony up the money that he wants? He wants what, $7 to $8 million for a multi-year contract? Are you willing to pay that much for Adrian Peterson?
No, he's been hurt.
Not.
He's been hurt the last three. He gets hurt. He's hurt all the time. Absolutely not. No.
Okay.
No, I don't understand what they're doing. I don't know why they're getting rid of Murray. I mean, we've got a good thing on the offense. Need a little tight end help, but we're talking to believe Bennett from the Patriots.
That would be a good fit.
That would be a huge move.
He's not much of a pass blocker, but it'd be a good fit for another weapon for
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr.
Oh my God! If you guys were to get Bennett, I mean, you guys already are in the top 3 of teams in the AFC right now. Getting Bennett would only solidify your spot, in my opinion. Listen, man, I love me some Latavius Murray. I would hate to see him go unless he's going to come to my team, of course, Philadelphia. But what I will say to you is, I don't know what the Davis family is thinking, but they need to just keep that investment because the young nucleus that you guys have, you know what I'm saying, with Carr, Murray, Crabtree, Cooper. And then if you were to secure Bennett, your defense is only going to get better. Man, it's a tough question, but go ahead.
And with this draft, they just need to go defense. Yep. We need to. I mean, seriously, that's we do that, we're going to be really, really tough to stop. Really, really.
You guys already are, man. You guys got a bunch of young, hungry cats over there. So, all right, Carl, man, thanks for chiming in. We really appreciate it, bro. We'll talk to you soon, man.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks. See ya. That's our man Carl Rafferty, Old School Bar and Grill, where we were at all season long for the NFL. Good to hear from him. I haven't heard from him in a while. I know he's getting ready for March Madness.
He's getting ready for the big St. Patrick's Day they have.
Oh, yeah, true.
All right, so going back to your Eagles.
Yes.
Okay, you go out and get Torrey Smith.
Okay.
You go out and get Alshon.
Yep.
Now you have guys to throw to.
Yep.
This is going to make your team better.
Yep. Already has.
And this division, just not good enough.
Are you kidding me?
Eric, I need you.
Are you kidding me?
I need you to make a case because you know why? After we talk about your Eagles, we're gonna go to Lee's Giants.
Wow,
okay?
you're really gonna sit there with a straight face and ask me that question? How
yes, because,
getting Alshon Jeffries
because of what division that you're
and Torrey Smith
then
does not make me better?
Let me hear your case.
Okay, think of it like this.
Should we block off like a half an hour?
No. Think of it like this. I'm gonna try and keep this short and sweet, but it's Philadelphia, so you know I'm gonna go with it. First off, I had a rookie quarterback. A guy who did not think he was going to sniff the field this year.
So did Dallas.
Okay? And
so did Dallas.
Would you let me speak?
Okay.
Are you done? Yeah, thank you.
I'm good.
Just mute your own mic. So what I'm saying to you is when Carson Wentz came in, this guy realized the opportunity that was presented before him. And what did he do? He went 7-9. Listen, it's very difficult in your first season to be able to produce that kind of record, but he did with the limited weapons that he had. I had Mr. Fumbleitis himself, Ryan Matthews. I had to rely on Darren Sproles, Wendell Smallwood, and a bunch of other running backs who I'm like, where did these guys come from? Now, my wide receiving core was
terrible.
Yes. For lack of a better word, my wide receiving core could not do it. Jordan Matthews, what? Nelson Aguilar. Nelson Aguilar caught a pass like week 12 or 13 for a touchdown, and the whole entire Philadelphia crowd just looked at themselves like, did that really just happen? Brother Kick, did that really just happen? Okay. Josh Huff, we gave to Tampa Bay. By the way, you're welcome. I still had Zach Ertz, Brent Selleck, and Trey Burton at my tight end position, and we tried to rotate them and utilize them. All right? So now you're telling me that with Alshon Jeffries on one side, Torrey Smith on the other side, we didn't get better, which you just said we did. But what you're saying is in my division, it made no improvement. You have got to be out of your mind. First and foremost, the Washington.
I say you got better, just not good enough in that division.
Bull.
I don't think
I'm calling BS. It's not your turn yet, Lee.
The Eagles aren't keeping
Washington.
They're just not.
Washington is falling apart at the seams.
That's one team.
One team.
Fine. You got to worry about Dallas. You got to worry about.
We have proven that we can beat Dallas. Okay? We have proven that we can beat the Giants.
Lee, I think you should put money on this too.
What I'm saying to you is what we did so far has given me hope to believe that this year my Philadelphia Eagles will return to the Philadelphia Eagles who they were in 2000 to 2004. And that is a dominant threat, not just in the NFC East, but also in the entire NFC conference. The only team we have to concern ourselves with as of right now, and I reserve the right to change my opinion after the draft, but as of right now, the four teams in our division, Lee, it's going to go Dallas, then Philly, then the Giants, then the Redskins. We are still better.
2000 to 2004, and in 2002, you had Rondé Barber take it to the house in the NFC Championship game.
Listen,
home.
Tiki Barber played his last game in Philadelphia and couldn't get the job done for his New York Football Giants. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Listen, make no mistake about it, okay? The Giants are and can be a better team, but it starts and ends with Eli. You don't have a consistent quarterback like you had at the beginning of his career because you never know which Eli is going to show up. At least I know going into year 2, if Carson Wentz can avoid the sophomore slump, make no mistake about it. We may not win the division, but I'll be damned if we don't get into the postseason. And I'll be damned if we're not better than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Carson Wentz, overhyped.
No, he's not.
Overhyped.
Oh, my God.
Remember when he couldn't throw an incomplete pass?
Wow.
All right, gentlemen, let's stay in this division. Let's go to your New York Football Giants.
Who still don't have a run game.
Who still don't have a run game, but hey, free agency is still happening, and the draft is happening as well. So, the New York Football Giants did sign Brandon Marshall.
They did.
And they re-signed Orleans Darkwater today. So
okay.
That's another, it's a good move for them. I think maybe doesn't solve the problem at running back, but at least it's someone there that's a little bit reliable.
You can't just have a warm body there. Hello. You know what I'm saying?
Better than the other. I'm not even going to say it. It's better than the other people we had back there. So that's one area that at least they're trying to make an improvement. Again, starts and ends with the O-line.
I think Brandon Marshall only signed with the Giants only because he just gets to stay in town, doesn't have to move, and he gets to do the Showtime.
He's got 2 years, $12 million. He wants to be, if I remember him saying correctly, he wants to be a mentor to Odell Beckham Jr. How about you be a mentor to Sterling Shepard? Because OBJ gonna be OBJ. We already know what we've seen his whole body of work. We know his whole scope. Why don't you work with Sterling Shepard and bring that brother up? but you still don't have a run game. Say what you want about Philadelphia, Ryan Matthews, Smallwood, and Sproles. At least I have something there.
Well, let's get the Giants. I'm sure will go in the draft and get a running back. Remember, this is
for their sake.
early in
I
the
hope
process.
so. Listen, you started this.
So let me. So you're telling me that right now, on paper,
right
today,
now, yes,
on paper.
Yep,
that's all we can talk about.
That's it.
On paper, you think Philadelphia Eagles are a better team than New York Giants?
Yes,
right now?
I do. As of right now.
What paper are you reading?
Yes, because I'll tell you right now.
Philadelphia
You've
Inquirer.
spent over $200 million on a defense that could not get the job done at home wild card weekend against the Packers. And I'm basing it on your body of work and what I've seen. I fully predicted that the Giants were going to have a better season than they did, which was a hard pill for me to swallow, but I still have respect for you. To hell with that team down in Texas. Okay, that's the one thing we can at least agree upon.
We can agree on that, yes.
But right now on paper, I'm looking at Jalen Mills is an up-and-coming corner, and y'all need to take note of that dude's name, number 31, all right? Yes, we released Connor Barwin, and Benny Logan is still out there, and I hope we're able to get him. Brandon Graham is going to be our guy that's going to lead our defense, okay? You have spent money. You got Eli Apple. What did he really do for you this season? He wasn't even though he went in the top 10, was he really that shutdown corner that y'all expected him to be?
When's the last time you saw a rookie corner come in and be shutdown corner?
I'm just saying.
It doesn't happen.
He went
It's
in the
not a
top
thing.
10, so everybody projected this guy to come in and automatically catapult himself to that status. We did not see it. Now, I hope for your sake in year 2, you get a little more production out of him. But I'm telling you right now, Jalen Mills is going in there saying, I want the best receiver. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Julio Jones. I don't care if it's Antonio Bryant. I don't care if it's Dez Bryant. I don't care if it's Martavius Bennett. I don't care if it's any of them New England Patriots receivers that you got out there. I want the best. And in Philly, that's what we are going to give him. Okay?
He can want him all day long. He's going to wind up on a lot of posters.
No, he's not. I'm telling you right now. Yeah, he's going to be on a lot of posters being the guy to shut them down.
All right, this is not going to be the Phillies show all day. All right, Jesus. All right, so staying in your division, of course.
Yeah.
Now, it seems like the Washington Redskins are, well, it's looking like to be a sinking ship. Scott McCloughan, the GM of the Redskins, has, well, he might be on his way out because his power has been taken away. He wasn't at the Combine doing any scouting. Deshaun Jackson is gone. Kirk Cousins, their franchise tag quarterback, demanded a trade from Dan Snyder, who said no. Do you think, and I'm going to ask both of you gentlemen, do you think for Dan Snyder to say no to Kirk Cousins' trade do you think this is going to cause a huge problem in the locker room and for the team going into next season?
Yeah, I do. Your quarterback wants out. And apparently Dan Snyder has more faith and stock in Jay Gruden than he does.
He's got a 2-year extension, yes.
Than he does in Scott McCloughan, even though Scott McCloughan brought him what the Washington Redskins needed to be formidable in the NFC Beast. Big, mean, nasty guys.
Now, they just lost Deshaun Jackson. They lost Pierre Garçon. They haven't made any moves yet to bring any kind of new weapons to Kirk Cousins at all. So my thought to you guys is, if I'm Kirk Cousins, I would be mad as hell.
Yeah.
And I would maybe hold out, even though you're getting that franchise tag money.
It's a possibility.
It is a possibility.
I don't see it being any more of a problem than they already had.
Okay.
I think this is a problem that carries over from last season. I think that, you obviously saw the quarterback carousel going on over there. And, if I'm Cousins, of course I want out.
Because your boy went to San Francisco.
Yeah, he wants to go back and work with Kyle Shanahan. The relationship that he had with Kyle Shanahan is what elevated Washington back during that time frame to be a team that was relevant. And now you're getting rid of Scott McCloughan. Kirk Cousins doesn't want to be there anymore. So, and you got rid of 2 weapons. So who's he got? Jordan Reed?
Pretty much. And they re-signed Vernon Davis, so he's got those 2 guys.
All right, so you got Jordan Reed.
But 2 injury-prone guys. Vernon Davis did fill in pretty well when Jordan Reed was out with concussions.
Right.
But who else do you have on wide receiver? You got nobody right now.
No, you don't.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to go through the quarterback situations. We're going to go through the saga, which is Tony Romo leaving Dallas, was released today. We also have Jay Cutler. Where's he going to go? Brian Hoyer may be going to the 49ers, and much, much more when we come back. This is Whole Nother Level. Welcome back, everybody. It is Whole Nother Level. 813-699-5353. The phone lines are open. we've got something going on this weekend. We will be at the J Dubs Brewery here in Sarasota, Florida, right near the Ed Smith Stadium, because the Orioles are playing the Pirates this weekend. So we'll be there from 12 to 1, talking some baseball, drinking some beers, probably throw a little bit of NFL talk if we have to, because we always have to do that. So much more to come on the show. I wanted to get back into the whole quarterback situations. Romo said they're going to release him. Dallas said they were going to release him at first. Now they're working on a trade to either we're all looking at either Denver or Houston.
Right.
I want to ask you, gentlemen. Leo, I'll go to you first. Which team do you think would be a better fit for Romo? Dallas or Houston?
That is a tough call.
Denver.
You're going with Denver.
No, you said Dallas or Houston.
I'm sorry.
Denver.
Denver or Houston. I'm sorry.
It's a tough call either way. I mean, forgetting anything you know about Tony Romo's injury history, let's say he can stay healthy and he can play. Who's got more weapons right now? I mean, who can give him someone to throw to?
You know, looking at these two teams, I think weapons-wise, they match up pretty well. I mean, Houston's got DeAndre Hopkins, Will Fuller. They got Lamar Miller in the backfield. And then you go to Denver. You got Emmanuel Sanders.
Can't catch a pass.
It's true, you can't catch a pass. You've got C.J. Anderson in the backfield.
Can't run the ball.
Yeah, you can.
No, he can't.
Yeah, you can.
Those guys don't show up till the postseason. They rely on their defense to get the job done.
I know where you're leaning towards, and I think we're on the same page. I think we kind of want him to go towards Houston because I think he's in a better situation over there. Their defense are going to get hopefully a healthy J.J. Watt back. Jadeveon Clowney is getting better by the season. He's not a clown anymore. You can't say he's a clown.
Nope.
So I think perfect situation. Plus, he gets to stay in the heart of Texas. Is Houston now? The question is, what is Houston going to give up to Dallas? Because now they've freed up so much money, trading away Brock Osweiler to the Cleveland Browns. I don't know what the Browns are thinking. I know they want draft picks, but they still have to eat up the contract of Brock Osweiler.
I'll give you my opinion on Cleveland when we get to them.
Okay. And now, so what does Denver have to give? What are they going to give up? So that's the big question. Lee, what do you think Denver has to offer if they're looking to win the Tony Romo sweepstakes? And if you're a GM, are you willing to gamble on one injury away from Tony Romo either being paralyzed or being injured for another season?
It depends on how much you're picking Romo up for, and it all is going to come down to price.
Okay, so I'm glad you said that because I had this conversation last week when I was in Indianapolis. I was sitting around a table with a couple gentlemen and a nice young lady, and we were discussing this. Just at dinner, we were talking. Okay, what do you pay him? How many games does he have to play in order to write this money? Because when we talked about it, I said you got to give Romo 2 years. I said 2 years, 26. And immediately, like my man DC was like, I'm not giving Tony Romo that money. And then my man Aubrey on the other side of me was like, you have to give him at least $10 million. So now I'm playing Tony Romo's agent here, and I'm trying to work this deal out. And I look at DC and I said, DC, you said 10's the highest you'll go. I say 13. I said, I'll meet you in the middle at 11. Give him 2 years, $22 million. He's like, I'm not doing it. I'm like, DC, this is Tony Romo we're talking about. The man, when healthy, is probably one of the best. Look at his numbers. And I hate to admit that, but it's the God's honest truth. You have to look at it from that perspective. So, Lee, I'm going to ask you that same question, okay? You're Houston. How much are you willing to give Tony Romo, and for how long?
If I'm Houston right now, I don't know. I've got nightmares about what I just did with Osweiler. So, it's tough. It's tough to think. I don't know that at $11 million I could sign Tony Romo. I think that at $11 million a year, it's too big of a gamble.
Yeah, I mean, you're in a division that's a winnable division because, you won it with Brock Osweiler, so think about if you have Tony Romo.
Right.
But, you also have to look at the other teams. Tennessee just got a little bit better.
They did.
Indy's now a huge question mark because they just traded Dwayne Allen over to the Patriots, and that was one of Andrew Luck's favorite targets.
You know what? I have to take back what I said before when I said let's forget about his injury history. I cannot remember the last time Tony Romo ever completed a full season.
Exactly.
I'm actually trying to remember right now. I can't remember it.
If I was John Elway, I would say no. I know you're trying to maybe repeat what you did with Peyton Manning, but Peyton Manning wasn't an injury-prone quarterback like Tony Romo was.
Right.
I wouldn't try to recreate that. I would stick with the guys that you have, Lynch and Simeon and just kind of roll with it. But it's a huge gamble, especially with Romo's history. Cannot stay healthy.
Let's be real. Look at what happened to Peyton when he did get a little bit older, when he was starting to become injury prone. And you know what? If not for a good defense, that team's in a whole nother place. I mean, I saw, 4 interceptions or 6 interceptions?
Yep.
I mean, that was, not Peyton's best performance. And yeah, they won a Super Bowl, and that's great, but
they didn't win it because of him.
Exactly.
So, all right. So then you know what? I'm going to flip the script. I'm going to ask you gentlemen right now. Lee, I asked you, but I'm going to throw a little caveat in there. Give Tony Romo $11 million per year, 2-year contract. But put in the contract, he has to be healthy for at least 10 games.
I don't think Tony Romo signs that contract.
Yeah, he won't sign it.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's a great addition to the contract. Absolutely, the right thing for them to do. But Romo will never take that because I don't think he thinks he can do it.
All right.
All right, moving on. So the saga, which is now Jay Cutler, no longer with the Chicago Bears, a free agent. What team do you think would pick up Jay Cutler? A team in need of a quarterback. What team do you think would pick him up?
I can't believe I'm going to say this, and I hope that it doesn't come to bite me in the ass, but the Jets. As abysmal as this team is, with the changes that they've made, they released Revis. They
needed to.
They needed
to let him go.
Wow, we just got that from PFT. With extra second-rounders, Browns are trying to get Jimmy G.
They've got the picks to dangle in front of New England.
But do you make it? Honestly, someone's going to be the heir apparent to Tom Brady, okay? And right now, he's the best possible guy to do that. Jimmy G's got ring. He's got a ring.
I'll tell you
what
I don't like about that, and this is just looking at the other side of it.
Sure.
As someone who does not like the Patriots, I do not want the Patriots having the 12th pick in the draft.
But we know the Patriots will find a way to go further down. They don't necessarily pick their guys up in the first and second round.
That's true. They're very good at that.
Yes.
But still, it's just another cog in that machine.
Okay.
I mean, they've said it before. If they're looking to trade Jimmy G, whoever's going to try and get him, they've got to dangle. They got to give up a lot.
So you're dangling the number 12 pick in the draft.
You got to dangle more than that.
And the second rounders that you just got.
Plus, you're paying
right.
$16 million.
Right. Listen, it's going to be quite interesting. But to get back to what you were asking about Jay Cutler, like I said, the Jets. That is the only team right now that I can see that has a need for a quarterback. And I think this guy, first off, he needs to be gone from Chicago regardless, and he is gone. If he still wants to play, and that's the big question, does Jay Cutler still want to play football? Because I'm telling you what, I condemn this guy each and every single year because of his lack of productivity on the field. He may show up for 2 games out of 16. And I'm like, then why are you still playing?
He says he might consider retiring. If I were the Jets, I'd say no. I would say no to Jay Cutler.
Now, well, yeah, I mean, there's been no confirmation on this at all. This is just a rumor that I read earlier circulating, but it sounds like the Jets are really looking towards pushing Geno Smith back into the spot right now.
Why?
So, I mean,
why are you doing this? I mean, listen, you got Bryce Petty and Christian Hackenberg, and as far as I'm concerned, and this is even a bigger pill for me to swallow when it comes to my Penn State boys, but Christian Hackenberg is just a dud. He needs to go back to accounting or whatever he took in college outside of playing football. Bryce Petty, we still haven't seen him. And you mean to tell me all that practice is not translating to on-the-field production? Why are you going to Geno Smith?
What I want to know is what are they seeing in Geno that makes them want to do that? Because
they have nothing else.
That's Todd Bowles' boy.
I mean,
that's his boy.
He missed basically a season with a broken jaw. Then he comes back for 1 game, gets hurt again. We haven't seen a lot of production out of him. We don't really even know what he can do.
I would say Jets need to go in rebuilding mode and draft yet another quarterback.
The Jets have been in the 67-year rebuilding plan. I mean,
Would you take him if you were the Jets?
Jay Cutler?
Would you take Jay Cutler?
Hell no.
You wouldn't take him?
No. We've seen his body of work.
Okay.
No. I would not. No. Hell no.
Okay. I'm just asking.
I think what Cutler needs to do is maybe take the role and be humbled, and maybe take the offer of a backup and be humbled.
But then who's going to start? Geno? You're seriously okay? I'm sorry.
That's the rumor.
I'm sorry. If you're giving me a choice between Geno Smith and Jay Cutler,
hell, you never know.
No matter how
Cleveland
many,
might go after him. You never know.
No matter how much apathy this guy has, no matter how lazy he is, I will still take Jay Cutler over Geno Smith. I'm telling you that much right now.
Who's he going to throw to over there?
Quincy Enunwa, who's the only one left because we don't know what Decker's doing.
I think Decker might be on his way out. Too.
Right. So Quincy Enunwa.
I think Decker had 2 concussions last season, or I don't know how much he's got left in him.
So I just got a text message. Our man Craig Cousins is going to try and call in here in a few minutes because he heard us talking about his New England team. So
speaking of the New England Patriots,
well, let's hold off on them if he's going to call in.
Okay.
Let's talk about some of the other stuff that happened. You know what? Brandon Cooks, and I'm sure you guys heard this. The Saints are saying that in order for them to give up Brandon Cooks, they want quality picks and like second, third round draft choices, or no, quality people coming over.
Well, I think the initial offer was they said they would trade. They would want, or the Patriots said they would trade Malcolm Butler for Brandon Cooks. That's not an equal trade.
No,
not an equal trade whatsoever.
I agree with you. But yeah, the Saints are saying that
if I was the Saints, I would say no because I want to load up on defense. That's your main priority.
Amen to that one.
Defense.
Now, for you, I know being a Buccaneers fan, you're listen.
Hey, go trade away Brandon Cooks. That's cool with me. I don't care.
Yeah, but all right, think about this now. You trade Brandon Cooks. Let's say the straight-up trade actually happens.
Okay.
Brandon Cooks for Malcolm Butler? Dude, come on. The Saints just got so much better, in my opinion.
No, they got a little bit less good because Brandon Cooks is a way better wide receiver than him.
Malcolm Butler's on the defensive side of the ball, which is what the Saints need.
Here's the thing about the brand. Okay, so when it comes to the Saints and tight ends, if you're talking from Tampa's perspective, Saints tight ends have been a problem for a while.
Okay.
I mean, I remember, 4 or 5 years ago, they drafted.
They had Jimmy Graham, and then they just let him go.
But before they let him go, Tampa had drafted. Who was the safety's name? I'm trying. Not Tenard Jackson. Yeah, it was Tenard Jackson.
Tenard Jackson.
Yeah, Tenard Jackson, specifically with the intention of shutting down Jimmy Graham. That was the only reason they took him. Didn't work, but Saints tight ends have been a problem. So I would rather get them out of there. You know, good safety play. Mm-hmm. I'll go against that all day.
They can let him go all day, I think.
All right. I mean, this is a guy in your division, Great L. Bushman, which is why I have to ask the question. So you're saying,
Felicia.
Ship him out. You take Malcolm Butler. I say Malcolm Butler adds to that defense, and you know what?
It just adds to the defense, but the Saints' defense is still terrible.
But Malcolm Butler might be that little light under the fire. He might be that spark that they need. You know what I'm saying?
Here's what's dangerous about the Saints. What we saw last year is that the Saints can put up points like crazy.
Oh, we know that. Yeah.
Yeah, and we know that. So they can hang with anybody's offense. So now you get a team, you do add a little bit of defense in there, and I mean, that could be a whole different team. It only takes 1 or 2 key players to turn that defense around. If the offense stays the same, you got a lot of points.
You're right.
All you got to do is win by 1.
This is very true.
All right, let's talk about the Patriots. I'm not going to hold on for Craig.
All right, let's go then.
All right, so the Patriots made a trade today with the Indianapolis Colts. They got Dwayne Allen.
Yep.
Very good tight end. I don't know what the Colts are doing right now. What is going on in Indianapolis?
How did I not hear about this trade?
Yeah, Dwayne Allen.
Dwayne Allen is now a New England Patriot.
Dwayne Allen went to New England.
That's why Martellus Bennett is not only getting courted by, maybe the Patriots might bring him back, but also your New York Football Giants.
What did they trade in return?
They got a 4th round. They got a 4th round pick.
Okay.
And the Patriots got Dwayne Allen and a 6th round pick.
Yep.
As usual, the Patriots front office making magic happen.
So not only do you have Rob Gronkowski, who, of course, he's another injury-prone guy, but you still have Dwayne Allen, who's a very, very good tight end, who's a very good pass blocker as well.
He is.
So this makes the Patriots another huge favorite to win the Super Bowl because I think with him it adds another weapon. Like when of course when Aaron Hernandez was there, but this is a dual threat in the tight end game. Very good trade.
Are you okay?
Very good trade.
You all right?
Yeah.
I know you can't stand the Patriots. That's why
I can't. But the moves they make are like They're phenomenal.
You can't. I mean, I hate the Patriots too, and hopefully I won't get hate mail for saying that. But I mean, I'm not a Patriots fan. I never have been. I'm not a Brady fan. But somehow they find a way to make that team plug and play, and can win with almost anybody.
But here's the thing. You know what you have that no one else has? 2 wins over them in the Super Bowl, being a Giants fan.
That's true.
So you can walk up to them at any given time and say, you know what? Say what you want. You still haven't beat us in the Super Bowl.
18 wins and 1 giant loss.
That's exactly it.
So Jack Doyle becomes the main focus on that tight end slot with the Indianapolis Colts, who they are now worse than what they were this season, with now giving away.
So we're writing them off before the season even gets started. In reference to the
if
Indianapolis
Jim
Colts.
Irsay's back on the pills again, I don't know what's going on, and I think this might be Chuck Pagano's last year as Indy's head coach. If he can't either make the playoffs or have at least a 9-7 season, I just don't see it.
I don't see 9-7. I
don't see it at all. I see maybe 5-11.
I was going to say I was going to see 6-10, and that was trying to be nice to
their
them.
defense is terrible. Their offense has gotten so much worse. I mean, they have an aging Frank Gore. Now, granted, he put up a 1,000-yard season this season, but I mean, Andrew Luck's the offensive line. He's getting hurt too much.
It is. So. And we're still looking here, folks, at tweets and everything, trying to see what's coming in. So make sure y'all join us. Give us a call, 813-699-5353. Bills signed Micah Hyde to a 5-year, $30 million contract.
They also brought back Tyrod Taylor, a guy a lot of people thought was going to go somewhere else.
Yeah, on his way out. So the new head coach over there, and I apologize for not remembering his name, but I guess he has faith in Tyrod to say, okay, this is our guy.
All right, so let's talk about the Browns. Let's talk about the Browns.
The who?
The Browns. The Cleveland Browns.
I'm sorry, I still didn't hear you.
Exactly. The Cleveland Browns. They've got the first pick in the draft. They made a surprising move today by getting Brock Osweiler and
picking up that contract.
Picking up that $18 million contract he has left on his Cleveland's in kind of a power position because now they've got a bunch of draft picks they can dangle and maybe trade away to get Jimmy G. You also have a first-round draft pick. You can dangle and trade away to get a couple more picks out of that. So if you're the Cleveland Browns, you're in a power position to do so many moves. But I mean, if nobody goes, because they're looking to maybe either trade or release Brock Osweiler. I mean, if it comes down to it, if nobody's biting, to trade away Brock Osweiler, do you maybe roll with him throughout the season? Now they did release RG3.
They did.
So, the upside with Cleveland, there's only one way is up. I mean, you're a terrible team.
Yeah, but how many years have we said that?
Well,
and look at where they go.
I know. So, if you're the Browns front office, do you go after Deshaun Watson? Do you go after Myles Jack? What do you do in the draft? Because now you've got so many picks. Now, granted, you got Osweiler in that contract. What do you do in the draft?
I say with the number 1 pick, you stay with Myles Garrett out of Texas A&M because that is going to be the stronghold of your team moving forward. And then if you are able to get Jimmy Garoppolo, then you make that happen. But here's the thing. Terrell Pryor Sr. is still out there, and teams are vying for this guy. And I just find it very interesting that Cleveland has not said we need to hold on to him.
He's going to go somewhere else.
You need to start building this team, and he's a dual threat. Yeah. Do you know how many teams would love to have a Terrell Pryor Sr. to be able to run that Wildcat if they so desire and know that they have a guy who's actually played the quarterback position in the NFL but also can be a wide receiver and be good? So,
I mean, can we just take a minute and actually think about what happened with that trade? Because that was pretty crazy.
It was.
It was so out of left field where everybody was looking. I remember everybody's checking their phones at work. They're like, what just happened? What just happened? I mean, a great move on Houston's part, but
yeah,
what just happened?
Well, what happened is Houston made a cash trade.
Exactly.
That's really what happened, which, by the way, you can't really do. So they probably had to get permission before they did that.
We got a caller. I know exactly who this is. Our one true fan, not Steve, the one, the only Craig Cousin. What's going on, man? How are you?
What's going on?
Man, good to hear your voice, brother. What's up?
I've been driving, so I don't know where you're at in conversation, so you're going to have to fill me in real real quick.
Craig, we're talking about the we're talking about the Browns.
Today. There's so much stuff going on.
We're actually talking about the Browns right now.
The Browns, well, they are a disaster of a team right now. A team that really nobody wants to play for, it seems. I don't really know why they signed Kenny Britt when they have Terrell Pryor that they should have locked up, but apparently he's possibly going to take an interview in Washington. And who knows what they're doing. They trade for Brock Osweiler, but they really don't want to play him, but they wanted to get the pick from the Browns in place of them. And I guess they have a collection of picks now, which they might send to New England or they might not. But guess what? They can't, legitimately bring in all those rookies and expect them to really do anything. So they're going to have to do something.
So, Craig, let me ask you, if you're New England, do you keep Jimmy G or do you trade him to get all those picks from Cleveland?
You got to trade him. I mean, this is the problem is Brady's not going to retire anytime soon. And by anytime soon, I mean 2, 3, 4, who knows how long. He was in the MVP conversation last year along with Matt Ryan. If he played a full 16 games, we could all agree that probably he would have won it. If not, it would have been maybe a co-MVP or really, really close. And so he's not going away anytime soon, and they want to keep trying to win championships and build around him, and they're doing exactly just that. I mean, we got Dwayne Allen from the Colts. We basically stole him, for a 4th-round pick, and we got a 6th-round pick in return and Dwayne Allen, and we got him on a 3 or 4 year contract, about $5 or $6 million per year. He's a better blocker than Martellus Bennett, and he can catch underneath passes. It was a really good transaction there. Stephon Gilmore, I was shocked because I didn't even think that we were going after a corner to begin with, but he was the best free agent corner on the market. We definitely showed that in the amount of money we're paying him. A little odd to me because I would think you would have given that to Malcolm Butler, and I have no clue what's going on with him now, whether they're going to ship him off or if they do decide they're going to, sign him to a lucrative deal as well. We're going to have the best secondary in the National Football League for sure. But as far as Jimmy G goes, I mean, we got to get him out of there, man. Bring in some picks. If you can get 2 first-rounders, I mean, I doubt it we can get that. But, I mean, a first and a second, 2 seconds, a first and 2/3. I mean, I don't know.
All right. Craig, let me ask you a question real quick, my brother. So we were talking about this to start the show, and I need your opinion. And as best as possible, I need you to be unbiased with this, okay?
How did I know you were going to come back?
So Deshaun Jackson, now in Tampa, alongside Mike Evans.
Yes.
On the flip side, Alshon Jeffries, Torrey Smith to Philadelphia. Which wide receiving core? Which wide receiving core are you going to take, Craig?
No,
which one?
That wasn't the debate. The debate was which team is going to go further in the postseason.
Which team is fine? I was trying to just evolve.
No, you just want to avoid the question.
No, I don't.
I wish I was in studio.
I mean,
right
the
now,
answer's still the
see
same.
both your faces. This is great. Man, you know what? Before this Alshon Jeffrey signing, I would have had no doubt saying it was Tampa Bay.
Oh.
And I think Tampa Bay is going to have a pretty good year.
Mm-hmm.
But, hey, Philadelphia has surprised me with the way they played last year and then in certain games the year before. And all they were lacking, which we all know, was a wide receiving core. I mean, they couldn't catch anything. It could have been me, you, and Frank out there trying to catch something. I mean, now they got Jordan Matthews. Obviously he's nasty in the slot. They have a speedster now in Torrey Smith, and they have Alshon Jeffries, which is just a beast. But then you got Mike Evans, in my opinion, top 5 receiver in the league. Deshaun Jackson, the best deep threat in the league. At least top 3.
Who's making the playoffs, Craig? Who's going to have the better record? Who's going to make the playoffs?
Well, I'll tell you what. Philadelphia is kind of screwed because the Giants got better and Dallas is really good.
I wonder where I heard that before.
Based on division, I think the Bucs are going to make the playoffs. But I would side a little bit with the wide receiving core in totality of the Philadelphia Eagles just because they have Jordan
That's not the debate, Eric. The debate was who's going to go further in the season in the postseason, not who's the better wide receiving core.
Fine.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be a good race now, though, because Philadelphia is on the come-up, and I know Dallas is good, and I know the Giants are going to be good. I don't know what's going on in Washington. I mean, I haven't seen anything like this since San Francisco blew their team up years ago. I mean, they went from a contender to a complete dumpster fire in, like, a couple of months. I mean, what in the hell is going on over there?
Yeah. I mean, we're still trying to figure that one out. Where there's smoke, there's definitely fire, and it's coming from the Washington Redskins organization.
Craig, let me ask you, Mike Glennon to the Bears, do you think he deserved all that money?
Oh, I do not think that. I've watched some Mike Glennon games. Yeah, he had some good plays here and there. He had a couple of consistent games, actually, that he compiled. But to be honest, I mean, Aaron Rodgers got it right. When you see a Mike Glennon making the kind of money he's making,
where's my money?
One can't think but, for him, Brady, and Drew Brees, and whoever else to be making more than that, a lot more than that. I'm not a believer in Mike Glennon, but obviously the Bears are a believer, so, he's there to prove me wrong. Who are they going to throw to now, though? Cameron Meredith? Because Alshon Jeffries isn't there.
Kevin White? Probably not.
I really don't see him doing much over there.
I told you.
All right, man. Craig, man, thank you for chiming in so much, brother. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon, man. Be safe.
Yes. See ya.
All right. That was the one, the only Craig Cousin chiming in. Whatever.
Craig does have a good point about, Aaron Rodgers saying, okay, you guys are giving this type of money to career backup guys. Where's my money?
Well,
and I've got a ring. Where's my money?
If you're Mike Glennon, you've always got the Buccaneers curse to rely on. Every good quarterback that leaves, they go on and win a Super Bowl.
They do good. That's true. I don't think Aaron Rodgers has anything to worry about because the Packers are going to take care of him in the long run.
Think so?
Oh, yeah. Come on.
Listen, if Matthew Stafford could get his head out of his behind, Detroit might actually be formidable this year again. They just need to win.
They need a running back.
Very true. They do. And you know what? But again, we've said it all throughout this whole entire show. The running back draft class this year is deep, and I think you might find a few dark horses. If Detroit should be so fortunate to snag one of them, and they could have I won't say Ezekiel Elliott year, but have something similar, just to get Detroit just over that proverbial hump. That's where they need to be. I think Detroit, and you know what? As the draft goes on, the OTAs begin in the summer. When we do our pre-show, we're going to go through all our picks. But we have our bet right now. Lee, you are our witness. $50 between the great Al Bushman and myself.
I got to see a handshake on it.
Oh, it's a done deal, baby. It's a done deal. You know I will never.
It's official.
Here's the one thing I'm excited for now, and I'm glad Craig said this, because Tampa plays Tampa plays New England this year down here at Ray J.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we definitely going to that game. I knew you and Craig and Russell and everybody are going, but I'm definitely going to that game because I want first-hand – I want to see it I want my true eye test. And here's what I will say to you. Everybody being healthy, even playing field for both teams, if Tampa should find a way to do what a lot of teams can't do, and that's beat New England – I might just give you $50 right then and there and say, okay.
Oh, really?
I might.
Oh, okay.
But I need to see it for myself.
I got to chime in on this one, though.
Go ahead.
I have to, because New England has proven time and time again that they are beatable if you can get to Brady.
I completely agree with you.
Every single time.
And I've seen Tampa take teams down to the wire, take them to overtime. I've seen Tampa do stuff, and I'm like, this is the Tampa team that we know. This is the Tampa team that fans will drive an hour and a half, 2 hours to come see. It's when they go through these spurts of losing games that it's like, why did we bother? And I know that's a lot with most teams, but with this team, living down here for 20 years and just watching the evolution of Tampa, I'm like, they could always be a proverbial power team. Your conference, speaking to the NFC South, I don't know what to expect from Carolina. New Orleans, unless they get a defense, isn't going to be anything but a mediocre team at best because they're so one-sided. Atlanta is going to be my thing because now this is the first year without Kyle Shanahan. How is Matt Ryan going to act? How is he going to be? That's what I want to see. So what that says to me is all the NFC South has done is open the door for Jameis Winston and the Bucs to say, this is our year to dominate this division. I fully expect to see it. It just depends on what happens in the draft. And as always, barring health, injury, something crazy happening, we shall see. Anything else before we ride out of here?
Just another signing for the Bucs. This is probably like a few minutes ago. Chris Baker was signed to a 3-year deal with the Bucs. They did let go. They let Keem Spence walk, so he is gone. I like this move because Baker can actually block two guys at once with his frame and his size, and that frees up Gerald McCoy to do a lot more damage at the linebacker position.
Yeah, there's a name that I haven't heard.
I like that
this entire show. So, all right. You know what? Let's crystal ball it. I want an early prediction from you two, and I'll give mine as well.
Okay.
The draft hasn't happened yet. No one's back in practice. I don't want a record. I just want to know where you see your team in the division. First, second, third, last. You're our guest, Lee, so I'll start with you. New York Football Giants. Where do you see them placing in the division, in the NFC East?
I am saying this, and I am not saying this because I'm a Giants fan. I'm saying this based on what I see on paper right now. I think I see them finishing first in that division right now.
Okay.
Record.
Yeah.
Record. What's the record?
No, I said I don't want a record.
You don't want a record?
I don't want a
I
record.
don't want a record. I mean, I can give you a prediction on a record. I'll probably be wrong. That's hard. But, I mean, I think I don't see them getting less than 10 wins.
So 10-6.
I was going to say 11-5.
Yeah, bare minimum 10-6.
Bare minimum. Okay. So Great L. Bushman, being the Buccaneers fan and everything that we've talked about, where do you see him?
I see first.
You see first.
I see first.
So Carolina was 2 years ago. Atlanta was last year. Will you have the same type of record that those past two teams have had? Carolina went 15-1 in the regular season. Atlanta went 12-4.
I see Bucks 11-5.
11-5, but winning your division.
They do have a tough schedule.
But winning your division.
Winning the division.
Wow. Listen.
I know where you're going.
I mean, let's throw it back around to you.
Yeah.
Philadelphia, I said second.
Okay.
And I'm sticking with second.
He's being modest.
If you're asking me for,
I mean, that's good. Our predictions fall in line.
I'm basing it off of
I know,
what
I'm
I
just
see.
messing
I know,
with you.
but I'm
messing
saying
with you.
what I basically see so far today on paper, second in our division, and like I said before, we have to. There's no question. We have to get 10 wins. There's no other way around it. We know what Dallas is going to do. I'm not even concerning myself with Washington.
They're a dumpster fire.
The Giants are probably our most formidable opponent. We just hate Dallas so much that we just want to take them to the woodshed and leave them in a pool of their own mess. But I say second, I say 10-6.
I like it.
Just wait for 6 months from now when we look back on this conversation
and I have Eric's money again.
Yep.
For
Whatever.
this year.
There you go.
Whatever.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap things up for the special edition of Whole Nother Level. Of course, come out to J-Dub's Brewery this weekend, this Saturday at 12. We'll be doing an hour-long show, just talking baseball and everything else. And, of course, we've got the big show coming up for opening day at Ferg Sports Bar and Grill in St. Petersburg, Florida on April 2nd. The Rays will open up the season against the New York Yankees, and we will be doing our show for baseball all season long at Ferg Sports Bar and Grill. We will see you next Tuesday promptly, and you're not going to be here next weekend, are you?
I'm not going to be here. I will be here Saturday for J-Dubs.
Okay.
I'll be here the following Tuesday for the show and studio here at Cowork. But then that following Saturday, I will not. And one thing that you did forget to mention is coming on opening day, we are going to be shooting our Major League Baseball commercial. So
I think we'll have plenty of people there.
Yeah, we'll have plenty of people there.
Always go to HNL3.com for the replays, and, of course, Spreaker.com. You can look us up, HNL3, and then our Facebook page as well, and also our Twitter pages, at LBushman07 and at Whole Nother Level. We will see you guys next Tuesday when we will bring you to a whole nother level.
Chief, mate, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.